Why Angie Dickinson still refuses to watch this one episode. She filmed in 1959. Angie Dickinson was born Angeline Brown on September 30th, 1931, in Culm, North Dakota. Raised in a modest household, Angie was the second of four daughters born to Frederica and Leo Henry Brown. Her father, a small-town newspaper publisher, moved the family to Burbank, California, when Angie was 10 years old, seeking greater opportunities during the Great Depression. This pivotal relocation would open the door for Angie to eventually enter the world of entertainment, though that path wasn't immediately apparent. Dickinson's early years were marked by academic focus and an interest in writing, inspired by her father's profession. After graduating from Bellarmine Jefferson High School in Burbank, she went on to study at Glendale Community College and later earned a business degree from Immaculate Heart College in Los Angeles. Initially, she aspired to become a writer or journalist. However, fate intervened when, in 1953, she participated in a local beauty pageant on a whim and finished as a finalist in the Miss America preliminary competition. This exposure led to small roles on television, and her natural charisma and striking beauty quickly caught the attention of casting directors. Angie Dickinson's rise to fame was gradual but steady. She made her film debut in 1954 in the Warner Brothers crime drama Lucky Me, and went on to appear in a series of westerns, which became her early trademark. She frequently played strong, independent female characters who defied the damsel-in-distress stereotype. Her breakout role came in 1959 with Howard Hawks' legendary western Rio Bravo, where she starred opposite John Wayne and Dean Martin. As Feathers, the flirtatious yet clever gambler, Dickinson held her own against two of Hollywood's biggest male stars, displaying the mix of sensuality and intelligence that would become her signature. Throughout the 1960s and 1970s, Angie Dickinson solidified her position as a leading lady in both film and television. She appeared in a range of genres, from the psychological thriller The Killers, 1964, to the stylish heist film Ocean's 11, 1960, alongside Frank Sinatra and the Rat Pack. She developed a close friendship with Sinatra, which only fueled her mystique as a glamorous figure moving seamlessly through both Hollywood and elite social circles. Yet despite her beauty and star power, Dickinson was never just eye candy. Directors appreciated her emotional range, while audiences admired her depth and vulnerability on screen. Her most enduring and groundbreaking role came in 1974, when she was cast as Sergeant Suzanne Pepper Anderson in the television drama Policewoman. The show, which ran until 1978, was revolutionary for its time, featuring a woman in a serious lead law enforcement role, something rarely seen on television at that point. Dickinson's portrayal of the tough yet compassionate detective earned her critical acclaim, a Golden Globe Award, and multiple Emmy nominations. More importantly, she inspired a generation of women to consider careers in law enforcement and proved that a woman could carry a prime-time drama on her own. Policewoman helped pave the way for future female-led police and action series. In later years, Dickinson remained a respected and admired presence in Hollywood. She continued acting sporadically into the 1990s and early 2000s, appearing in notable projects such as Dressed to Kill, 1980, where her performance as a sexually frustrated housewife earned her critical acclaim. In 2001, she appeared in Brian De Palma's Big Bad Love and made guest appearances on television, including a cameo on Family Guy that showcased her sense of humor and self-awareness. Even as she aged, Dickinson retained the poise and elegance that made her a style icon, frequently appearing at film retrospectives and awards shows, where she was honored for her trailblazing contributions to both film and television. Today, Angie Dickinson stands as a true pioneer. She helped redefine the role of women in media, proving that female characters could be complex, commanding, and central to a story's narrative. Her influence can be seen in generations of actresses who followed in her footsteps, from Sharon Gless in Cagney and Lacey to Mariska Hargitay in Law and Order, SVU. She is a reminder that beauty and brains are not mutually exclusive, and that lasting success is built on more than just good looks. It's about talent, versatility, and the courage to take on roles that challenge convention. Angie Dickinson was first married to Gene Dickinson, a college football player whose strong, athletic build and charming demeanor had made him a standout on the gridiron during his university years. Their marriage began in 1952, when Angie was just starting to gain traction in Hollywood, and Gene later transitioned from sports to a career in the electronics business. Though they presented a glamorous young couple in the early 1950s, their relationship faced challenges as Dickinson's fame began to rise rapidly. The pair ultimately separated in 1956, only 4 years into their marriage, although their divorce was not finalized until 1960. Despite the dissolution of their relationship, Angie chose to keep her married name, Dickinson, which by then had already become closely associated with her growing television and film career. That name would go on to become iconic in the entertainment world. During this time, Angie Dickinson also developed a notable friendship with esteemed economist and diplomat John Kenneth Galbraith and his wife, Catherine. The Galbraiths, widely respected in intellectual and political circles, provided Angie with a window into a very different world, one of academia, diplomacy, and international affairs. Her friendship with the Galbraiths led to visits to their home and eventually to travels that deeply enriched her life. Most significantly, Dickinson accompanied the Galbraiths on various occasions, while John served as the United States ambassador to India from 1961 to 1963 under President John F. Kennedy. These visits and experiences are described in rich detail in Galbraith's memoirs, Ambassador's Journal, and A Life in Our Times, where Dickinson is mentioned not just as a Hollywood star, but as a thoughtful and engaged visitor who took a sincere interest in the cultures and politics of the places she visited. These interactions underscored the depth of Dickinson's intellect and curiosity, qualities not always recognized in a profession that often emphasized beauty over brains. In 1965, Dickinson entered into her second marriage, this time with famed composer and songwriter Burt Bacharach, a major force in American popular music. Known for penning numerous timeless hits and collaborating with artists like Dionne Warwick and Dusty Springfield, Bacharach brought with him a world of creative brilliance and musical innovation. Together, Dickinson and Bacharach formed one of the most glamorous and talked-about couples of the era, frequently appearing in the pages of Life, People, and Time magazines. Their marriage lasted for 16 years, a considerable stretch in the entertainment industry, although it was not without its difficulties. In the later years of their union, the couple went through a period of separation, during which both explored relationships with other people. Yet there was always a tether between them, a lingering bond made stronger by the birth of their daughter. On July 12, 1966, Angie gave birth to their only child, Leah Nikki Bacharach, whom they lovingly called Nikki. From an early age, Nikki exhibited signs of autism, though at the time, public understanding of autism was limited, and diagnostic criteria were still evolving. Dickinson and Bacharach dedicated themselves to her care, navigating a journey filled with emotional, medical, and logistical challenges. Nikki faced a difficult life marked by struggles with mental health and the limitations imposed by her condition. Angie, in particular, took on the role of her primary advocate and caregiver, stepping away from many professional opportunities to focus on her daughter's needs. Tragically, Nikki took her own life on January 4, 2007, at the age of 40, leaving behind grieving parents who had fought fiercely to provide her with comfort and stability. Dickinson later described this loss as the most painful experience of her life, a heartbreak from which she would never fully recover. Burt Bacharach, whose life and career were also profoundly shaped by their daughter's life, passed away in 2023, leaving behind a legacy of music and complex family ties. In the 1980s, Angie found new companionship in her relationship with singer and songwriter Billy Vera, best known for his soulful hit, At This Moment. Their romance was more lighthearted and creatively charged, and Dickinson even appeared in the music video for Vera's 1981 song, I Can Take Care of Myself. The video showcased Angie not just as an actress, but as a confident and mature woman, unafraid to embrace pop culture and her enduring appeal. Their time together was brief but meaningful, representing a chapter in Angie's life where she re-engaged with the entertainment scene from a fresh, contemporary angle. Later, during the 1990s, Dickinson entered another high-profile relationship, this time with legendary broadcaster Larry King. Known for his gravely voice and no-nonsense interviewing style, King was a household name, hosting his long-running talk show Larry King Live on CNN. Dickinson and King were seen together at public events and quickly became one of the more talked-about couples in media circles. Their relationship, although it did not lead to marriage, was one of mutual respect and admiration. King often spoke glowingly of Angie's intelligence, grace, and vivacity, while she appreciated his wit and journalistic mind. Though their romance eventually ended, they remained on good terms and continued to speak fondly of one another in interviews. Even decades after its release, legendary actress Angie Dickinson has openly admitted that she still refuses to watch the 1959 Western classic Rio Bravo, a film that marked a major turning point in her career. Though Rio Bravo is widely regarded as one of the most iconic Westerns in Hollywood history and holds a beloved place in the hearts of countless fans, Dickinson herself harbors deeply personal and emotional reasons for avoiding a viewing. Her reluctance stems not only from her own self-criticism about her youthful performance in the film, but also from the lasting memories it evokes, especially those involving her co-star, teen idol Ricky Nelson. At the time she was cast in Rio Bravo, Angie Dickinson was still a rising star, just beginning to make a name for herself in Hollywood. She had already racked up several supporting roles on television and in B-movies, but Rio Bravo marked her first major role opposite screen titans like John Wayne and Dean Martin. Dickinson played the role of Feathers, a spirited and flirtatious gambler who becomes romantically involved with Wayne's character, Sheriff John T. Chance. For a young actress still finding her footing, sharing the screen with such iconic names was as daunting as it was exhilarating. Dickinson has since confessed that while filming the movie, she often felt insecure about her acting abilities and worried that she hadn't yet developed the skills to match her powerful co-stars. She viewed her performance as raw and uneven, an opinion that haunted her for years, and one of the reasons she finds it difficult to watch the film even now. But the emotional complexity of Rio Bravo doesn't stop with her self-criticism. Another deeply personal reason Angie Dickinson avoids watching the film involves the late Ricky Nelson, who was just 18 years old when he took on the role of Colorado Ryan, a talented young gunslinger who joins forces with Wayne and Martin's characters. At the time of filming, Nelson was already a household name thanks to his musical success and his role on the family sitcom The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. Despite the age difference, Dickinson was in her late 20s. They developed a warm and sincere camaraderie on set, bonded by the shared experience of working on a high-pressure, big-budget Hollywood production. Over the years, Dickinson has spoken with tenderness and nostalgia about Ricky Nelson, often referring to him as a kind, gentle soul whose quiet charm and natural talent made him a joy to be around. His tragic death in a plane crash in 1985 at the young age of 45 left a lasting mark on Dickinson, and watching Rio Bravo would mean revisiting the face and voice of a young man frozen in time, someone she remembers not just as a co-star, but as a bright light who left the world far too soon. For Dickinson, the pain of that loss lingers, making it emotionally overwhelming to see Nelson again in the bloom of youth, full of promise and innocence. There's also a bittersweet quality to Rio Bravo for Dickinson in terms of how it encapsulates a particular moment in her life and career, a time of youthful hope, professional insecurity, and personal discovery. Watching the film would mean revisiting not only the highs of working with legends like Howard Hawks, John Wayne, and Dean Martin, but also the doubts and uncertainties that plagued her as a young actress navigating a male-dominated industry. The experience, though ultimately foundational to her future success, remains bittersweet, a reminder of both how far she came and how much she had to endure along the way. So while audiences may continue to celebrate Rio Bravo as a masterpiece of the Western genre, Angie Dickinson has made peace with leaving it in the past. To her, it's more than just a film. It's a deeply emotional time capsule filled with personal triumphs, lingering insecurities, and the haunting memory of a young man taken too soon. And for that reason, she continues to keep that particular episode of her life unwatched. After decades of quiet reflection and guarded privacy, Angie Dickinson, the iconic actress whose luminous career spanned more than half a century, has finally broken her silence about Ricky Nelson, a name that conjures memories of the golden age of rock and roll and early television stardom. For years, rumors and speculation swirled around their connection, but Angie, known for her grace and discretion, chose to keep the details locked away, protecting both her own reputation and the memory of the late singer. Now, at the age of 93, she has decided that the time is right to share her perspective, shedding light on the truth behind their relationship and the emotional complexities that surrounded it. Angie's decision to speak openly marks a significant moment, not only for fans of classic Hollywood and vintage rock, but also for those who have long admired her ability to maintain dignity amid the swirling gossip of Tinseltown. Her revelations come with a deep sense of maturity and reflection, painting a nuanced picture of a time when the pressures of fame and the demands of the entertainment industry shaped personal lives in profound ways. She recalls the youthful exuberance and magnetic charm Ricky Nelson possessed, his effortless ability to captivate audiences both on screen and in concert, and the sincere kindness that made him beloved by so many, including herself. But Angie also touches on the darker realities, the loneliness behind the spotlight, the strains of celebrity life, and the inevitable heartaches that came with loving someone so constantly in the public eye. She describes how their paths crossed at a pivotal moment in both their careers and personal journeys, creating a connection that was as intense as it was complicated. Her reflections delve into the challenges they faced, the misunderstandings that arose, and the deep respect that endured even after their relationship shifted into the realm of memory. By finally opening up, Angie offers a heartfelt tribute to Ricky Nelson, not just as a legendary entertainer, but as a human being who, like all of us, navigated love, loss, and the search for meaning. In recounting these memories, Angie also acknowledges the impact that the silence had on her own life, how keeping her feelings private shaped her experiences, and how, in some ways, it has been a form of protection and survival. Now, with the wisdom of age and perspective, she embraces vulnerability as strength, allowing fans and historians alike to glimpse the person behind the headlines and the persona. This rare glimpse into her heart and mind is a powerful reminder of the complexities of human relationships, especially within the intense, often unforgiving glare of fame. Ultimately, Angie Dickinson's decision to break her silence is an act of courage and grace, a testament to her enduring spirit and her desire to honor the truth. It invites us all to reconsider what we think we know about the lives of celebrities, urging compassion and understanding in place of speculation. Through her words, Ricky Nelson's legacy gains a new dimension, one that celebrates not just his extraordinary talent, but the intricate, often hidden emotional tapestry that defined his life and those who loved him.